Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to share with you a new lens that I picked up. It's the Zeiss Otus 55 1.4. This lens has replaced my previous favorite, the Voigtlander 58 1.4. In this video, I'm going to share with you my journey towards picking up this lens, tell you what I like about it, tell you what I like and dislike about the Voigtlander lens. Before we begin, please remember to like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links for items to purchase in the description area of each video. Back in 2013, I picked up a Nikon DF, and sometime later, the Zeiss 55 1.4 was introduced. This lens was supposed to be optical perfection. Now, at $4,000, it was definitely out of my price range. So I looked around for a lens that could do something similar and give me that 1.4 look, that creamy bokeh that we all see, but at a more affordable price. Enter Voigtlander with the 58mm 1.4. Now this 58mm was my favorite lens. I love the focusing ring on it, how smooth it was to work with, but I did discover that there were some chromatic aberrations from this lens when you shot wide open. So I tested it in different scenarios, and what I end up doing sometimes was put it in black and white mode just so I can get rid of that chromatic aberration look. You can also do it in software, but going into black and white when you're wide open kind of gives you that really nice look, at least in my opinion. So why am I parting with this lens? I wanted to get native lenses for my Nikon Z8. And if you remember, I did a video, and I'll put some information about it, about this one, the 40mm f2 lens, native mount for the Z line. This lens I like very much, but this one is 1.2. Creamy bokeh, really nice, and darn sharp at the same time. They did not have a 58 1.4 that would be updated for the Z line. They did have a 50 apochromatic lens, but at f2. Now I wanted something with a little bit more reach, something that more than a standard 50. And I looked at the 65 and I almost bought the 65, but they had no more available, so there goes that. And as a matter of fact, this lens ended up being the last one available in Malaysia. Still to now, there's none available. And I got this last year, what was it, September, October, somewhere in that time frame. The Zeiss lens. I have seen Zeiss for a while and I wanted to get one, but I always had a minor focus, and I came across a Batis line and I didn't realize that it was autofocus. Now I saw Amar's video, and when he talked about that, and I was like, let me go check this lens out. Went to the camera shop, checked it out, picked it up, and man, that lens is also awesome. As a matter of fact, you're watching it right now. I've utilized it on the Z8, and if you guys want to see some video about it on the Z8 and FX30, let me know and I'll do that. Just put your information in the comment and let me know if you want to see that video. I like that lens, and I decided to go back to the camera store because there were other couple Zeiss lenses that I saw. And I did some research on them, but I wanted to try them off myself. Wait, let me show you some pictures. I took these of my wife when I was at the camera shop because I wanted to compare to see which one of these lenses I was going to buy. There was the Otus 55 1.4, the Milvus 50 1.4, the Milvus 85, and the Voigtlander 58 1.4. So take a look at these pictures and let me know which one you like, and let me know which one you think was taken by which lens. What do you think? They're all pretty sharp. They look pretty much similar in my mind. I think it's very difficult to tell which is which, but hopefully you guys guessed right, and I'll check that and report back in another video. What enticed me about the Milvus line was that the lens were weather sealed. You know, let me show you the Otus. So here it is. This is the Otus 55 1.4. Down the bottom here, you have your f-stops, and of course there's this little button here which you use to lock it into place. Now on your Z-line camera, you have to make sure it stays at f16 so you can control it from the body. On the older DSLR cameras, you can use the f-stops by turning the ring or control it from the camera. This was made specifically for the older DSLRs, but you can adapt it to the Z8 and the new Z bodies. You know, but before we do that, let me just show you the lens. So it's a really nice, strong metal build. Even the lens hood is metal. Let's take that off. So here's the lens, and let's open it up. When you look through it, it's just an awesome work of art. It's a Distagon. You can see that. If I should turn over. What I like about this is the focus ring. That's my favorite feature. You can pretty much adjust this thing with one finger. When I was testing all the lens, the thing that caught my eye in this one is as I was testing all the lens and I had them all in landscape mode and focusing this way. Yeah, let me turn this side. So when I was shooting a picture of my wife, I could use my finger. I could focus this lens with my finger. The other ones, the focus rings were a little bit tighter and harder to turn. This one, it's so easy, it's so smooth. And I was concerned about not having any kind of weather sealing because this lens doesn't. The information I read upon it, they said that this lens didn't need it because of the design and how it was so sealed that allowed the smoothness of the ring. But they didn't have any gaskets to prevent any water from entering the camera. But I guess, again, the design did it in such a way that it didn't need it. Now, if you bought it for $4,000, maybe you don't want to go out and shoot in the rain with it, but that's up to you, what you want to do. For me, this lens was used. It was about $1,400 US, and traded in a couple lenses, I got it for about $1,000. So I think I got a pretty good deal on it. So I like it very much. I've took it out and I tested it over a couple weeks. The thing that I've noticed, the subject, they stand out from the background. Take a look at these photographs and then we'll continue talking about it. Now, what do you think? Do you think this gives you a medium format look? This is one of the things that Zeiss advertised about this lens. The lens is supposed to give you that 3D pop, really good contrast, really good color. It's Zeiss's way of producing their lens. They talk about the T-star coating, that allows the lens to give you more light, cut down chromatic aberrations. They just done so much to this lens. I remember when I read an article about it, they said this lens was optical perfection. And pretty much everything in the Otus lines from reviews that I've been seeing, they're just fantastic lens, like tops. I think even till today, not many things out there that can compare with them or beat them. It's surprising. I mean, we're talking at 30 something megapixels sensors back then. Now we have 45, 50, 60, 35 millimeter cameras, and these lenses, oh man, awesome stuff. I sent a couple pictures to John. You guys know John Ishii. If you've been on AP Studios or Jeffrey's live stream, I've seen him talk about medium format cameras and what he's used. He was a photojournalist. He basically used all these cameras that most of us regular folks don't use. His response was, wow. I say, is this a 3D pop they're talking about? He goes, yeah, that's that medium format look. And I was like, wow, okay. I did notice it pretty much right away. Things kind of like jumped out a bit when I looked at the photograph, and I was like, man, that's really cool. So I thought about maybe I should get some other lenses. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I love the Milvus line, but I'll say this, those lenses are pretty darn heavy. This is almost 2 pounds. The other ones can get up to almost 3 pounds. They're solid lenses. It's like a lot of glass and metal. So if you're gonna get one of these lenses, you know, be prepared for that. They're not cheap, but if you can find it used at a good price, even today, it's still a good buy. Now, one other thing I'd want to talk about is the video side, because someone had asked me to test the low 2 or the lower ISO setting when recording in N-Log. So I used this lens, even though it's manual focus, because I wanted to see what it could do, and I recorded some videos. So what you're going to see next is some videos that I've shot in N-Log and in standard mode. So I will notate which ones were shot in N-Log and which one was standard mode, so that way you guys can know. So check these out, and then we'll come back and talk a bit more. So what do you think of the video? Now, I have to say this. I'm impressed with this lens. I'm thrilled. I'm glad I bought it. You know, I was a bit skeptical about it. It's 10 years old, 10, 11 years old now. And I think that maybe, you know, it's been superseded by some other lenses. And it probably has, because I haven't tested everything that's out there. But from what I'm seeing here, the Batis 25 and now the Otus, meaning that 3D pop look, the Zeiss color, I mean, the contrast, micro contrast. Yeah, it looks really, really awesome. You guys tell me below what you think of the photos and the videos. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Now, if you own a Zeiss lens, share your experience as well. A lot of people don't look at these things because they're manual focus and they're pricey. But I'll say this, there was a line built specifically for Sony cameras. That's the Batis line. It has a few lenses that's in there. If I remember correctly, I think it's 18, 25, 35, 50, and I think it's also 85 and a 135. I would love to get a couple of those because they're smaller and lighter, but still offers really great quality. But none of those were available used, just a Batis 25. For me, this lens is now my new favorite lens. It has surpassed what I was expecting from a wide aperture lens. At least something that, I could afford, because $4,000 at the time wasn't gonna go for it. Now at $1,000, yeah, it's great. It looks fantastic. Yes, it's heavy. I mean, we can talk about the downside. It is a heavy lens, but it's pretty much metal and glass, just like things were built in the old days. As I mentioned before, the focusing is really smooth. The colors are great. I could talk about colors all day, but I don't want to do that. You guys have seen it. If you have any questions about it, put it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you and what you want to know about it. I'm going to close the video. I don't want to take too much of your time on this, but yeah, if you're looking for one, you can find it, buy it. You won't regret it. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you see, give the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please remember to get subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe.